We've all been there. A song can be catchy as hell at first, stuck on repeat as you spin it endlessly, burning it into your brain. And then something just switches, and it is a living nightmare to listen to even just the first few seconds as you desperately try to skip it. Overexposure is what kills music. And of course, if you are cursed to be a musician, then you're going to have this unfortunate fate with your very own songs. Heckle a band with a song enough and they will soon turn against it, like Radiohead and Creep when Tom York announced they were tired of it. Or Led Zeppelin and Stairway to Heaven when Robert Plant said he'd break out in hives if he had to play it at every show. But that's not always the reason songs will be vetoed from the set list. Whether bands are sick of their own creation, whether they've grown past their lyrics, or whether they physically can't bring themselves to make their sweet music like they once did, these are the songs that you'll be lucky to ever hear live again. I am the loop track of Ash from WhatCulture Music, and these are 10 songs rock bands refuse to play live. 10. Iron Maiden, Alexander the Great. This 8.5-minute epic has never been fully performed live by the band in over 30 years since its first release. In a radio interview, when asked why the band has never bothered playing the song live, singer Bruce Dickinson said, tongue-in-cheek, it was because guitarist Adrian Smith couldn't remember the guitar solo in it. He then went further on to say that when it came to playing it live, the whole band just couldn't get their timings right. Soon after, drummer Nico McBrain spoke of his wish to one day play it live as well. And so, tentatively, Iron Maiden treated fans to a chorus of Alexander the Great in Teravai Park in Malakasa, Greece. Considering Greek fans more than anyone have desperately wanted the legendary heavy metal band to belt out the song, especially as it makes reference to the Greek origin of the Macedonian king and also the role he played in the dissemination of Greek education in the East, then this truly was a lovely treat for fans. The 36,000-strong audience erupted when they sang a small snippet of Alexander the Great. But the rest will have to keep waiting for this epic to have its proper live premiere. 9. Arctic Monkeys, The Bad Thing. Arctic Monkeys conquered the second album syndrome that most bands fall victim to with the ferociously gripping Favourite Worst Nightmare. But one song off that record they have never played live, to the disappointment of their devoted following, is the well-liked The Bad Thing. It might be cynical and poetic and done to the band's unique style, but it is one that the fans are going to have to just accept is a disc deal only. It's rumoured that the band debated whether to put The Bad Thing, or eventual B-side, What If You Were Right the First Time, on the record in the first place, with Alex insisting The Bad Thing make the final cut in exchange for the band not performing it live when they toured. Turner has said he finds it hard playing some of the band's older songs, and I quote, "Sometimes it's tough to get through one of the old ones live. You know, you just don't feel like that anymore. I guess that explains why we don't hear it." 8. Metallica, Sweet Amber. The chaos that led to the release of Metallica's sixth album, Saint Anger, in 2003 is well known. Rehab, total writer's block, and a long, arduous process to replace bassist Jason Newsted helped make this one of the most diverse albums in metal history. Sweet Amber is the song on Saint Anger many consider to be the best, but it has only been performed live once, in Texas, on September 4th, 2004. What might seem like a song about an addictive woman is also believed to be about frontman James Hetfield's addiction to alcohol, since amber is the colour of beer. But that is not the only reading of the song. The alternative is covered in the Some Kind of Monster documentary, as the band start writing Sweet Amber after their management makes them record radio promos for their sponsors. Hetfield writes, "Wash your back so you don't stab mine," to relay the commercial favour they were forced into to stay in the label's good books, making the song perhaps one that they don't want to revisit. Considering how diverse and brilliant their massive back catalogue is otherwise, it is understandable a song might have slipped through the cracks in either case. 7. Blink-182, Kaleidoscope. Neighbourhoods was the first album of new material Blink-182 released in 8 years after the band entered an indefinite hiatus in 2005. It's also the last studio album to feature the Enema of the State era lineup of the band, as founding member Tom DeLonge left the group in January 2015. A popular track off that record amongst fans is Kaleidoscope, with various Reddit threads and other such internet followings dedicated to it. But recently, singer/bassist Mark Hoppus revealed some disappointing news to any fan expecting to catch it in their setlist. Hoppus hopped on Twitch and live-streamed himself playing Animal Crossing during the lockdown, playing some acoustic Blink-182 and Plus 44 songs in between gameplay and also answering some fan questions. While playing the game, his son Jack asked Mark the fan question, "Is there a chance that Kaleidoscope will ever be played live?" "No," Hoppus answered quickly. "We're never playing Kaleidoscope live. That's not happening." I love that song though. 6. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Love Roller Coaster. For some fans, Love Roller Coaster was their first introduction to the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Covered by the Chili's in 1996, it was around the time they released their album One Hot Minute, with the song appearing on the soundtrack for Beavis and Butthead Do America. The song is played early on in the movie too, when Beavis and Butthead arrive in Las Vegas. But despite that, the band has never performed the song live. It's rumoured to have never appeared in a set as it was recorded due to obligations to have a song on the soundtrack at the time, recorded out of necessity rather than desire. The Peppers barely acknowledge that the song even exists, and drummer Chad Smith responded in a Reddit AMA to really hammer the song's lack of publicity home. We don't really feel connected to that record anymore. No special reason, not to say we'd ever play those songs, but we don't feel that emotionally connected to that music right now. 5. Green Day, Panic Song. Following Dookie, the album that cemented their path to being mainstream stars, Green Day channeled their hurt and anger into their follow-up, Insomniac. Panic Song is the 8th song on Insomniac, written by Billy Joe Armstrong and Mike Dirnt, with Dirnt throwing in a long bass intro to reflect the scatty nature of the song. Given that it's centered on panic attacks, it is a suitably erratic nod to what it feels like to be in one, with the lyrics backing it up tenfold. Panic Song is a fan favourite, but that doesn't mean it's been treated like one. It's only been played live once, in France, 2012. In an Instagram exchange, a commenter asked why Green Day don't play Panic Song live, with Armstrong's response being that it's too hard and I'm too lazy. Mike Dirnt has suffered from carpal tunnel too, having had surgery to correct the damage caused by years of running his hand up and down the fretboard, so it would be a major pain in the wrist for Mike to play Panic Song live as well. 4. AC/DC. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll. This is a song about the hardships of rock and roll bands trying to make it, which is perfectly reflected in the School of Rock cover, I might add. Depicting the very struggle the band endured to make it to the top, AC/DC expressed their undying allegiance to rock in It Is a Long Way to the Top If You Wanna Rock and Roll. It's the first track off the group's second album, TNT, released back in December 1975. This song is unusual, because instead of the normal lengthy guitar solo, it features a duel between Angus Young on lead guitar and singer Bon Scott on the bagpipes. It was rumoured they quit playing it live simply because it was a pain lobbying a set of bagpipes from city to city. However, most recognise AC/DC stopped playing it live because current lead singer Brian Johnson won't sing it out of respect for his predecessor Scott, who passed away in 1980, believing it to be the quintessential Bon Scott song for the ages. R.I.P. 3. R.E.M. Shiny Happy People. Shiny Happy People was the second single from R.E.M's Out of Time album. It was inspired by a Chinese propaganda poster the Chinese government released after a massacre in 1989, one that was being used to promote the significance of Chinese workers and soldiers, and was designed to have China looked upon as a utopia. Michael Stipe's lyrics, written over what he called the stupidest song that sounded so buoyant and weird, were intended to be an ironic commentary on the government's propaganda campaign. But the irony went over the heads of many fans who just thought it was a nice and catchy tune. Stipe has gone on record saying, "I hate that song, it is a fruity pop song written for children. It just is what it is. If there was one song that was sent to outer space to represent R.E.M. for the rest of time, I would not want it to be Shiny Happy People." Due to the band's dislike of the song, it was omitted from their 2003 Greatest Hits album and they refused to play it live. The band managed to grit their teeth through just 2 performances of the song in 1991 before ditching it forever. 2. Beastie Boys, You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party. Arguably the Beastie Boys' best known song, being named one of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's 500 songs that shaped rock and roll, Fight for Your Right was performed only at 17 concerts in total, the last time they played it being all the way back in 1987. The song was written as a sarcastic knock on party anthems, like Twisted Sister's I Wanna Rock. But like R.E.M's Shiny Happy People, the joke was lost on the masses. Fight for Your Right became a frat house anthem, becoming synonymous with the lifestyle the Beastie Boys were parodying. Mike D commented that the only thing that upsets me is that we might have reinforced certain values of some people in our audience when our own values were actually totally different. There were tons of guys singing along to Fight for Your Right who were oblivious to the fact it was a total goof on them. 1. Paramore, Misery Business. Paramore announced in 2018 they will no longer play their breakthrough and most well-known song Misery Business at live shows. Singer Hayley Williams declared the song's retirement at a headline show in Nashville to mark the end of touring their 2017 album After Laughter. As you can imagine, fans did not take the news lightly online. The track has been the focus of a fierce debate over the years whether the lyrics are anti-feminist or not. Williams and co retiring it is mostly in reference to one particular lyric directed at another woman. "Once a whore, you're nothing more, I'm sorry that'll never change." Expanding on their own misgivings before Misery Business was axed altogether from live shows, Williams addressed the matter in a blog post. I haven't related to it in a very long time. Those words were written when I was 17, admittedly from a very narrow-minded perspective. And that's the funny part about growing up in a band with any degree of success. People still have my diary, the past and the present, all the good and bad and embarrassing of it. And that's our list. Which of these songs are you still holding out for a live performance of? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. I've been Ash over on social media at Ash Millman, and this has been WhatCulture. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and come back again soon for some more musical content. Thanks for watching.